in season is here, and let's dive straight in. I get a lot of questions. The main questions is in regards to how are we adapting, how are we modifying speed and agility, 1, 2, our strength, our lifts, our power movements, right? And then 3, conditioning. So let's peel back the layers. 1, we have to remember the main difference between off-season and in-season is we have, holy cow, practice and games, a ton of load, a ton of specific football movements, right? Same thing that in the off-season, we don't have any of that stuff. So we have to find ways to mimic gameplay in regards to speed, change direction, our agility work, open, close, reactive, and then also how are we making sure we're getting a competitive environment because they're not playing against anyone else. So in regards to speed, let's go right in there. Step number 1, speed work. With my preference, I would like to do this on Monday or Tuesday on your preference. We do it right after the warm-up, right on the first day of the week. So the coaches are aware, hey, we're gonna do 5 to 6 competitive sprints, working on acceleration, and if you're at a facility lucky enough that you have or a team setting where you're lucky enough you have your lasers out, you're timing the 10-yard starts. These are our acceleration-based 10 to 20-yard sprints, okay? Also, in regards to our speed work and how it ties in to agility, you gotta remember that, hey, cornerback is going to be doing a lot of change of direction work, a lot of hip flip work. So for myself as the position coach, I don't have to do much agility work. Myself as a sports performance coach, I shouldn't have to do any agility work for the O-line, D-line. They're doing all those quick get-offs, those quick acceleration, stop and go, change of direction stuff. For me, it's making sure that when I get them in the weight room, okay, right before we lift, during our stationary warm-ups, I'm hitting some time under tension, some range of motion type of movements as you're seeing right here in regards to their groin, knee, and hip. So they're getting that depth that they're not getting in practice or not getting in stretches, right? Now, number 2, let's go right into the lifts. Lifts, you're lifting 4 to 5 times a week in the off season, 2 to 3 times in the week in the in season. And these in-season lifts, if you're doing a combo day where you're lifting and running, you're probably going anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30. Okay, I think anything over an hour 30 is too much. In season, sometimes we'll go just 30-minute lift with a 5-minute warm-up, or we might, bleed into a session where it's a combo with practice that we are 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So drastic different in time. But let's peel back the layers and actually go into the lift. Intensity-wise, holy cow, off season, depending on the day, depending on the time, depending on the cycle, a lot of things depend, but we are able to ramp up, man. We are breaking down the body. We are pushing limits. We'll have max rep sets. We'll have AMRAM sets. During in season, we typically do not have any of that. Typically, our max rep sets, our max effort sets, we may only have 5 reps and a total of bench press where we might have, 2 reps at 60%, 1 rep at 70, 1 rep at 80, 1 rep at 85, and they're just making sure they're getting a proper, time under tension and they're moving a solid load so they're maintaining that strength. So drastically different in rep ranges. What pops in my head is like prelim chart, how much volume they're getting in the off season. Holy cow, drastically different. If you're at the college setting, how they mimic this is driving intent, which is being violent with velocity. So they probably are tracking velocity with these movements to make sure in season wise, they're attacking intent. The hardest thing I see with high school coaches is, coach, they're not taking it serious enough because the load is now so light. Where I have to, before we're attacking, you'll hear me with the boys. Guys, whether we're doing our bench press or trap bar deadlift, some type of squat variation or some type of clean variation that we still do, or it might just be a power pull, you'll hear me say over and over again, guys, lock into the intent of being freaking violent here. We are moving this bar as fast as possible. And I'll tell them, guys, we're gonna get velocity trackers soon, but you are acting like you are competing against your partner, your teammate right here, on how fast you can freaking move that bar. Don't even worry about the weight. So I'm pounding those things home. So we kind of just went over rep range, way different in off season, way different in season, and we went over a little bit of the actual load and intensities, way different. Now, again, I'm kind of, what popped in my head here is, if I'm a coach, and I'm just going to be real, if I know we're playing a crappy team, that my ones might only play the first half, then I might add maybe a little bit more sets that Monday afterwards, because I know they're fresh, or even the week beforehand. And you're like, man, that's not the approach. You just got to know it. You're a coach. Get the feel for that. So that's number 2, the lifting part. Number 3, conditioning part. And I think this is very difficult. I like to think that I'm a combination of that old school, get after it, and that new school, hey, we're going to sprint fast. We're going to get proper rest times. We're going to make sure we're the most violent and explosive team. We're going to do a ton of different jumps with proper load and still attack the weight. I like to think I'm a great combination of those. So this is where that conditioning is critical. Typically, I like to run on with our acceleration work on Monday. If we needed to do extra conditioning, it is on Wednesday, okay? This is how I like to do it. 1, it should be always a talk with the coach, and they're mimicking that in practice, right? So say if defense needs a little upper tempo, they'd have first string O and second string O. They'd go live against unit number 1. Then they have a stopwatch and mimicking gameplay. Say you maybe instead of having that 25-second rest, narrow it down to 20, and they get 5 plays in a row quick. Boom, get a play, get over there, quick. They go for a series, maybe 6 to 7 plays. They take a 2-minute break, do it again. All right, so that's just a small example there. Another way I love to do this, say if you don't want to mimic gameplay there, is I love to just have sudden changes. So what I mean by that is, hey, halfway through practice, coaches, I'm going to blow a whistle and I'm going to do just a small segment of our conditioning test. So you see, flying to my right side, our conditioning that we built up to over the summer, where linemen are just running a 10 and back, big skills are running a 15 and back, and skill are running 25 and back, right? And you might just do, hey, we're going to do 5 reps. They got to be under 7 seconds. They got 22 seconds of rest. Then we're going to have a 2-minute break, and they're going to do it again. For the first week, if you're just adding a little bit, just do 1 set of that. So that's just a quick breakdown on speed and agility for in season. A lot of buckets are filled in practice, man. You don't need to be doing too much there. 2, lifting. Holy cow, is it drastically different and modified. And number 3, our conditioning perspective. Take care of your boys, man. They don't need to be getting pounded. Now, if they're not in shape, though, I highly recommended those 2 modifications that I just recommended there. Now, if you're still looking for a step-by-step blueprint in-season wise, that's these links. The box just popped up here. We take a great amount of pride. This new in-season program that we just came out with, 2.0, it is freaking awesome. The membership site is awesome. The step-by-step videos, the walkthrough videos in the weight room, the speed videos, all these different stationary warm-ups, the dynamic warm-ups on the field, the day after game lifts. Holy cow, we're jacked up. We're pumped about it. Please click the link, check it out. But always, the most important thing, here's my email or comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. I am here to help. We're on year 8 of 180 Athletics. Why? Is because we plan on over-delivering. We are here to serve you, serve your athletes to better their best. Coach Cano, as always, win the kids. You made it to the end. Thanks for watching the content. Make sure to like, share. Hopefully you find some coach or some of your athletes, or maybe it's even your son or your daughter that finds this valuable. Share with them. Then there's another video right here. Make sure to click on it, check it out, and then as always, win the kids.